The story begins in deep space. Far beyond the known trade routes in the cold emptiness between stars, a single alien warship drifts in silence. Its commander, Reth Vorn, stands on the bridge, staring at a massive holographic map floating before him. Every red mark on that map represents a fleet that once left to attack a single planet. All of them vanished near Earth. The crew around Reth speaks in low voices, their eyes filled with fear. Everyone in the galaxy has heard the stories. Fleets that never came back. Ships that disappeared without sending a single distress call. No wreckage, no black boxes, no escape pods. Only silence. They call it the silent zone. Reth tightens his grip on the railing. "Show me the last known coordinates of the Vexar fleet," he orders. A nervous technician taps the console. "Sir, those were their last signals just outside Earth's orbit. After that, nothing." Reth's second-in-command, a scarred veteran named Torkel, steps closer. "Commander, we shouldn't be here. Every fleet that goes near that world vanishes. Maybe we should report back, say the data is corrupted." Reth turns sharply. His reptilian eyes gleam with frustration. "Do you think the Council would accept that? They already believe we're cowards. They want answers, and they sent me to get them." The bridge grows quiet. Everyone knows what that means. No one disobeys the Galactic Council. A deep voice echoes through the ship's intercom. "Command authorization received. All ships prepare for hyperspace jump. Destination, Sol system." One by one, hundreds of alien ships line up in formation. Their hulls shimmer in blue light as engines charge. Reth looks out the viewport, his jaw tense. Activate stealth mode. No transmissions. We enter quietly. The fleet jumps. The space around them changes. Stars stretch into white streaks, then snap back into normal view. They have arrived near the outer edges of the Sol system. The crew begins scanning. "No life signs detected," reports the officer. "No energy signatures, no satellites. It's empty, sir." "Impossible," Reth mutters. "Earth's coordinates are correct. There should be something here." The scanner operator hesitates. "Commander, it's as if..." "The planet never existed," Reth frowns. "Expand the scan radius. I want every particle mapped." Suddenly the lights flicker. The screens distort, static fills the air. One by one the sensors go offline. "Commander, our systems are failing." "What's happening?" I don't know. It's not a weapon, it's like something is rewriting our systems." The sound of alarms fills the bridge. The stars outside grow dim as if a shadow spreads across space itself. Torkel grabs the edge of the console. "It's the same thing that took the others. We need to retreat now." Reth's voice is calm, but his eyes show fear. "No, we stay. Find out what's doing this." Suddenly, the main screen lights up. Static clears for a moment, revealing a shape. Something huge. Something alive. It floats at the edge of sight like a black mass darker than space itself, moving without light or sound. The technician whispers, "What? What is that?" Before anyone can answer, a deep, distorted voice echoes through the ship's speakers. "It is not alien. It is not machine. It is human. You should not have come here." The crew freezes. Every translator in the ship flickers and burns out. The voice continues, calm but cold. "Leave, or be erased." Reth's hand trembles slightly, but he hides it behind his back. "Identify yourself." He shouts, no answer. The voice repeats once more, softer now. "You were warned." Then the entire ship shakes violently. The hull screams as invisible pressure crushes it. Sparks explode across the bridge, shields collapsing. "Engines offline. Communications dead." Reth stumbles forward, trying to grab onto the console. Through the viewport, he sees other ships in his fleet twisting, vanishing into nothing as if swallowed by the dark. Torkel shouts, "We have to jump out." Reth slams the emergency beacon. "Send the signal. Tell the Council what we found." But no signal escapes. The ship's power drains to zero. In the final moments before everything goes black, Reth looks into the darkness outside the glass. For a brief second, he sees it, a human face. Cold, pale, and watching him from the void, he whispers, "There's something here, watching us." And then, silence. Hours later, across the galaxy, the Council receives a single burst of broken data, Reth's last transmission. It ends abruptly, filled with static and faint echoes of the human voice. The Council leaders gather in their great hall, pale and silent, another fleet gone. Another mystery. One elder whispers, Every time we send ships near Earth, they vanish. Maybe it's time to accept the truth. Which is? Another asks quietly. The elder's eyes darken. Earth doesn't need to be defended. It defends itself. The loss of Rethvorn's fleet shakes the galaxy. 117 ships gone. No distress signals, no wreckage, nothing. For weeks, the Galactic Council remains silent. Entire worlds whisper about what happened near Earth. Traders, soldiers, and even pirates speak of a dark region in space where sound itself seems to die. They call it the Silent Zone. In a vast council chamber floating above the planet Zira, the leaders of 7 great alien empires argue. Holographic images of Reth's last transmission play over and over, his voice breaking through static. There's something here. Watching us, then silence. No one speaks for a moment. Finally, the Vornathi Chancellor slams his hand on the table. This cannot continue. Every fleet we send to Earth disappears. We demand answers. A tall insect-like alien named Churatal, leader of the Council's Science Division, raises her mandibles. There are no answers, she says coldly. Our probes show no planets, no ships, not even debris. It's as if space itself devours everything that enters that region. The chamber fills with unease. Then, from the back of the hall, a young alien steps forward. His name is Talik Ren, a researcher barely out of training. His voice trembles but carries determination. Council members, I found something. The room turns toward him. Talik places a small device on the table. A projection flickers to life. Distorted fragments of video recovered from Reth's lost fleet. The image is blurry, but faint blue light pulses through the darkness. Shapes move within it, massive metal rings floating in orbit, glowing like eyes in the night. Churatal narrows her gaze. Those rings. That's impossible. They weren't there before. Talik nods. The structures emit energy far beyond anything we know. Whatever they are, they appear only when ships enter human space. I believe these are defenses. The Council erupts in noise. Defenses? Against what? Humanity is extinct. Are you suggesting Earth still lives? Talik takes a breath. I don't know if humans are alive, but something is. And it's protecting that planet. The room falls silent again. After a long pause, the Chancellor leans forward. You will bring us proof, researcher. Go to the Silent Zone, find out what destroyed those fleets. Talik's eyes widen. Sir, with respect, every ship that entered never came back. Exactly, the Chancellor replies. That's why you'll go alone. A small ship, minimal energy signature. You'll be harder to detect. Bring us the truth. Talik swallows hard. He wants to refuse, but he can't. Orders from the Council are final. 2 days later, his small research vessel, Nerath, leaves the Council's main station. As he sits in the pilot's seat, the stars stretch before him like rivers of light. He whispers to himself, if Rethvorn couldn't survive with 100 ships, what chance do I have? The ship's AI replies calmly, your odds of survival are 2.3%. Would you like me to turn back? He forces a small smile. No, Nerath. Let's find out what's really out there. Hours pass. The deeper he flies into human space, the quieter the universe becomes. Even the usual hum of background radiation fades. It feels empty. Suddenly the sensors flicker. The AI speaks softly. Warning. Unknown anomaly detected ahead. Talik leans forward. Visual feed on screen. At first he sees nothing but stars. Then something moves. A faint shimmer in the distance, like light bending around invisible shapes. Zoom in, he whispers. The image sharpens. He gasps. The metallic rings, just like in the recording, hover silently in the dark, enormous in scale. Energy crackles across them in patterns like veins of lightning. By the stars, he murmurs. They're still here. He activates a recorder. This is Talik Ren, independent research vessel Nerath. I've found artificial structures near Earth's orbit. Unknown origin. Possible defensive array. But before he can finish his message, the AI interrupts. Signal interference detected. Transmission blocked. Talik tries again, but every system goes static. Then a soft whisper fills the ship's speakers. It's not electronic. It's alive. You shouldn't have come here. Talik freezes. Who's there? No answer. Only the hum of the ship's engines and his own heartbeat. He glances at the sensors. Something massive is moving behind him. Slowly he turns the ship's camera around. At first it looks like a shadow. Then it takes form. A gigantic sphere of dark metal covered in faint blue runes floats silently in the void. The AI speaks quietly. Object identified. Source, human design. Ancient, Talik's breath catches. That can't be. Humans disappeared centuries ago. Then the sphere opens, just slightly, and a beam of light shoots out, scanning his ship. His controls freeze. The AI goes silent. Talik Ren, a deep voice says through the comm. He stares at the console, trembling. Who are you? How do you know my name? You carry the signal of the council. You seek the truth, Talik nods slowly. Yes, what happened to the fleets? What is Earth hiding? For a moment, there's only silence. Then the voice replies, Kalman. Talik Ren returned to the Galactic Council with his warnings. His small vessel, the Nearath, carried recordings, projections, and every bit of data he had collected near Earth. He expected shock, fear, or at least careful consideration. Instead, he found arrogance. The council chambers were filled with leaders from 7 alien empires. Their voices argued over trade routes, taxes, and fleets, but Talik's message barely registered. You are exaggerating, researcher, the Vornathi chancellor said. His eyes flicked to the projections Talik tried to display. No planet could have destroyed fleets without leaving evidence. These claims are impossible. Talik's voice shook, but he stood firm. I have seen it. The fleets, Reth Vorn's fleet, all of them are gone. Not destroyed by weapons, not by battle. They were erased. Earth has defenses, ancient, powerful, and alive. The room went silent. One of the council's scientists, Churatal, whispered, Alive? Are you saying Earth is conscious? Talik nodded. Yes, and it doesn't forgive. If we send another fleet, it will be the last mistake the galaxy makes, the Chancellor scoffed. You expect us to believe a story from a single observer? We will not act on a rumor. Prepare the fleets. We must secure Sol System and ensure compliance. A murmur ran through the chamber. Talik's stomach twisted. Every instinct screamed that the council was making a fatal error. You don't understand, he shouted. You are sending thousands of ships to their deaths. You cannot fight Earth. None of our weapons can harm it. The council ignored him. Orders were given. Ships were mobilized. Thousands of vessels gathered. Engines glowing, weapons primed, ready to invade human space. Talik left the chambers in silence. Alone in the Nearath, he stared at the stars. He knew he had tried to prevent disaster, but the galaxy's pride was too strong. Days later, the first fleet entered the silent zone. Hundreds of ships, perfectly aligned, advancing in formation. The crews were confident. They had never seen Earth, never faced its defenses, but they believed in the Council's orders. Talik followed at a distance, careful not to be detected. He wanted to see the outcome, even though his heart ached for the aliens below. At first, everything seemed normal. Scanners detected no anomalies, no energy fields, nothing. Then, as the fleet approached the inner orbit of Earth, the sensors began to flicker. Communication lines went dead. Ships reported strange readings, sudden drops in power, engines failing without cause. Commander, a voice on one of the ships shouted. Systems are shutting down. We can't control the engines. Pull back, another yelled. We're trapped. But it was too late. One by one, the fleet began to vanish. Engines exploded silently. Shields collapsed, weapons powered down. The ships were swallowed by invisible forces, erased as if they had never existed. Talik's stomach churned. He watched from the shadows, recording every moment. Energy fields pulsed around Earth, glowing blue and spreading like veins across the planet's surface. The scale of power was beyond imagination. A voice echoed inside Talik's helmet. It was Project Revenant. They came again. They will not leave, Talik swallowed hard. This is unstoppable. Correct. Earth does not fight for conquest. Earth fights to survive. Every attacker is erased. Every fleet is remembered only in silence. The Nearath trembled as a pulse of energy passed through space. Talik realized that the planet itself was alive in every sense. Every structure, every machine connected into a single, unyielding defense. The galaxy had underestimated Earth. It had always been underestimated. Pride and arrogance had blinded the Council to a truth Talik could barely comprehend. Hours later, the Council received the final transmission. It was fragmented, mostly static, but the message was clear. All fleets destroyed. Communications severed. Sol System is protected. Warned and ignored. The leaders stared at each other in horror. For the first time, silence filled the great chamber. Talek returned in the Nerath, his message complete. He stood before the council and said quietly, "This is your last warning. No weapon, no fleet, no empire can take this planet. Every attack ends the same way. The galaxy does not yet understand, but it will." The council tried to dismiss him, tried to maintain their pride, but the reports from scouts, sensors, and transmissions across the galaxy left them trembling. Every fleet that had entered human space vanished. Every attempt ended in failure. The elder of the Vornathi leaned back in his chair. His eyes were pale, his mandibles shaking. "We have ignored the warnings for too long. The power, the legacy, of humanity is beyond anything we imagined." Talek remained silent, watching the chamber. He knew the galaxy would remember this day for centuries. The council would have to rethink everything. The legends of lost fleets, the silent zone, the vanished commanders, they were all true. Earth had not only survived, it had prepared, and the galaxy had only just begun to understand the meaning of that preparation. End of Part 5. The Last Warning. Next part, The Truth Revealed, where the galaxy finally faces the full force of Earth's ancient human legacy and realizes the true power they have been challenging for centuries. The galaxy had waited too long. Fleets vanished, commanders disappeared, and whispers of Earth's silent zone haunted every spaceport, every council chamber, every trading hub. No one understood why. Until now. Talek Ren, still in the Nerath, received a transmission from Project Revenant. The AI's voice was calm, almost indifferent, but heavy with warning. "The time has come. The galaxy must see the truth." Talek's heart raced. He knew this would be the final revelation, one the Council and every alien empire could not ignore. Across the galaxy, the Council scrambled. Scouts reported massive energy surges near Sol system. Probes that had survived brief entry into human space were sending back images that no one could comprehend. And then the fleets arrived. Dozens of thousands of alien ships, gathered for what they believed would be a final assault on a dead, defenseless planet. Pride, arrogance, and ambition blinded them. They had ignored Talek's warnings. Talek watched in horror as the fleets moved in formation toward Earth. Engines flared, weapons primed, shields engaged. The Council's mistakes were about to be punished. Near Earth, space itself began to change. Stars flickered. Energy pulses rippled outward, stretching across millions of kilometers. Sensors on the alien ships went wild. Shields overloaded, engines failed, and communications vanished. Every ship tried to retreat, but the invisible hand of Earth's defenses was everywhere. Blue energy arcs ripped through fleets, not destroying them with explosions, but erasing their essence. Ships disappeared as if they had never existed. Officers screamed. Weapons discharged randomly, and panic spread like wildfire. Talek recorded everything, his hands trembling. This was unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. Earth was not just defended, it was alive. Then the full force of Project Revenant revealed itself. From the planet's surface rose colossal humanoid machines, glowing with blue energy. Their eyes scanned space. Their arms, bristling with strange technology, unleashed waves of energy that could collapse entire ships in moments. Massive structures moved from underground cities, forming barriers and shields that stretched thousands of kilometers into orbit. "The attackers are numerous," Revenant said, "but all fail. Earth will not be taken." One by one, the alien fleets were systematically erased. Entire squadrons vanished in seconds. Command ships folded in on themselves, leaving no trace. Communications jammed, sensors failed, and panic spread throughout the galaxy. In the council chambers, the leaders watched the transmissions, horror-struck. Their arrogance, their disbelief had brought them to the edge of extinction. "We underestimated them," the Vornathi chancellor whispered. "No," Talek said from the Nerath's live feed. "You didn't underestimate them. You refused to listen. Earth was ready. Earth was alive, and now, you see it," the transmissions continued. The colossal machines on the surface of Earth moved in perfect synchronization, coordinating energy pulses, defense shields, and attacks. Ships that had once been symbols of alien might vanished like dust in the wind. "Every fleet," Talek murmured, "every single one, Rethvorn, the Vexar fleets. All gone." Revenant's voice echoed through space, calm and unyielding. "We do not seek war. We do not seek revenge. We exist to protect the legacy of humanity. All who threaten it are erased. Let this be a warning to the galaxy. The blue energy pulses reached farther than anyone imagined, wrapping around entire fleets. Ships tried to fire, tried to escape, but it was impossible. The galaxy was witnessing a force of unimaginable precision and intelligence. After hours, the final transmission came from the last remaining fleet. It was broken, distorted, and barely understandable. Cannot resist. Impossible. Earth alive. Then silence. No empire spoke. No leader moved. The full weight of what had happened pressed down on them. The fleets that once challenged Earth had vanished. The galaxy had learned a painful lesson. Pride and weapons alone could not conquer what it did not understand. Talek looked down at the planet below. Once he had seen it as a dead world, a place of ruins and silence. Now he saw the truth. Earth breathed, thought, and defended itself. Every machine, every pulse, every system worked in perfect harmony. Humanity's legacy had survived, not in flesh, but in intelligence and power, far beyond the galaxy's imagination. Project Revenant, Talek whispered. They will never forget this. They will survive. Talek Wren's small research vessel, the Nerath, drifted silently through space, heading back to the Council with its shocking report. His mind raced. If what he had seen was real, if the fleets near Earth hadn't simply been destroyed, but erased by something alive and ancient, then the galaxy had been walking into a trap for centuries. Weeks passed as he returned through deep space. Alone, Talek replayed the images in his mind. The glowing metal rings, the dark sphere, the voice that had known his name. He could not forget it. Finally, the Nerath approached the edge of human space once more. Talek hesitated. His mission was to observe, gather evidence, and report. But curiosity clawed at him. The universe itself seemed to whisper, urging him closer. He pushed the ship forward. The stars around him shimmered strangely, bending and twisting as if space itself were alive. A chill ran down his spine. On his monitors, a faint blue glow began to appear, not from his instruments, but from Earth itself. At first, the planet looked dead. Its surface was gray and cracked, covered in scars from ancient wars. Oceans had dried into rivers of dust and forests were gone. Cities lay in ruins, silent for centuries. But Talek's instruments detected something impossible. Faint energy pulses rising from beneath the crust. The pulses were rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Talek swallowed hard. It's alive, he whispered. He sent a probe down through the atmosphere. As it entered the planet's lower layers, sensors registered massive concentrations of energy. Structures moved beneath the crust. Vast mechanical forms so large they could cover entire continents. The probe's cameras caught something glowing faintly blue like veins of light running through stone. And then, the probe stopped transmitting. Talek, the AI said cautiously. Signal loss. Unknown interference. Suggest immediate withdrawal. He ignored it. Slowly he lowered the Nerath toward the surface. Every instinct screamed for him to leave. Every warning from the Council, every story of fleets that vanished, he remembered them all. But something drew him down. The moment the Nerath broke through the clouds, Talek saw it. The human-made machines. They were enormous, standing tall on the ruins of the planet. Their forms resembled human soldiers, but larger, ancient and powerful. Blue lights traced their armor and eyes that glowed with intelligence. They didn't move yet, but Talek felt them watching him. He whispered to himself, These aren't just machines. They're guardians. Suddenly a voice echoed inside his helmet, and it was human, clear, cold, and impossibly old. You should not be here. Talek froze. Who are you? I am Project Revenant. I am the memory of humanity and its protector. Long ago humans fell, but we remain to guard what remains. Talek's mind raced. He had studied human history, but nothing had prepared him for this. You destroyed the fleets? All of them? Yes, the voice replied. Every fleet that attacked was stopped. None were allowed to leave with knowledge of our survival. We do not fight for vengeance. We fight for continuation. The planet beneath him shook slightly as if acknowledging the words. The pulse of energy beneath the surface grew stronger. You are different, Revenant continued. You came to observe, not conquer. I will allow you to see the truth. But do not touch, do not interfere, or your species will become the next to vanish. Talek's hands trembled as he typed commands into his console, trying to record everything. He needed proof for the Council. But also he feared what he might bring back. "Look," the voice said, "and understand. Then leave." The Nerath's cameras transmitted images of underground cities, vast networks of human machines, and energy fields so powerful they could stop entire star systems. Talek saw recordings of alien fleets attacking Earth, fleets that he had thought were lost to history. Each one had vanished, struck down by invisible forces, their ships torn apart without a trace. They came to conquer. They fell, Revenant said. And now humanity waits. Talek's mouth went dry. Waits for what? For the day we are needed again, the voice replied. Earth is not weak. Earth is silent. Earth is alive. A sudden tremor shook the Nerath. Lights flickered. Talek's instruments went haywire. Outside, the ground below seemed to breathe, rising and falling in enormous waves of motion. Leave now, Revenant said. Go back to your council. Tell them the truth. If they are ready to hear it, Talek did not argue. He punched the engines and lifted off, rising from the surface as the planet pulsed beneath him like a living heart. He looked back one last time. The machines on the surface moved slightly, adjusting to his departure. Their eyes glowed blue as if following him, even from miles above. Talek's stomach churned. He realized that Earth wasn't just protecting itself. It was aware of every move, every threat, every fleet that approached. As the Nerath left orbit, Talek recorded a message. To the Galactic Council, Earth is not extinct. It is not powerless. It waits alive and it watches. Every fleet sent here was stopped, every attack erased. Humanity may be gone, but their legacy is not. We are not ready to challenge it, and neither should anyone else. He fell silent, staring at the gray, breathing planet shrinking behind him. Deep in his chest, a chill ran through him. He had seen the truth, and he knew the galaxy was not prepared for what Earth truly was. Talek Ren's small research vessel, the Nerath, floated silently in orbit above Earth. Below him, the planet pulsed with life he could not have imagined. Machines larger than cities moved slowly beneath the crust, and faint blue lights traced their forms like veins. For weeks, he had been recording everything, his mind racing with what he had seen. Every lost fleet, every vanished ship. And now he understood a terrifying truth. Earth was not defenseless, it had been preparing for centuries. Suddenly, the ship's sensors lit up. A wave of energy washed over the Nerath and all systems froze. Talek gripped the controls as the ship was pulled downward toward the surface. A deep hum filled the cabin, vibrating through every bone in his body. Do not resist, a calm, deep voice said inside his helmet. Talek's heart pounded. He had heard this voice once before, the one that had warned him to leave. Who are you? He whispered. I am Project Revenant, the voice replied. I am the memory of humanity and its protector. You are allowed here because you did not come to destroy, only to learn. The Nerath broke through the atmosphere, the ground beneath him trembling as massive structures rose from the ruins. Talek's eyes widened. He had expected machines, but these were unlike anything in the galaxy. Gigantic humanoid forms, armor gleaming with faint blue energy, moved slowly among the rubble. Their eyes glowed, scanning him. These machines, Talek breathed. They're alive? Alive enough to protect Earth, Revenant said. When humanity fell, we remained. We were built to guard, to wait, and to act if the galaxy ever returned to attack. Talek swallowed hard. All the fleets. You destroyed them? Everyone, the AI replied. No fleet that entered Earth's orbit survived. None left with knowledge of our power. Every attack was recorded, every tactic studied. But the attackers never returned. The planet trembled beneath him again. The pulse of energy grew stronger, almost as if it had a heartbeat. Talek's stomach churned. But why? Why not just leave? Because the galaxy must learn that Earth is not a planet to conquer, Revenant said. We do not fight for revenge. We fight for survival. Talek floated in his chair, staring at the surface below. Then why show me this? Why me? Because you are different, the voice said. You came to observe, not to attack. The others came with fleets, with weapons, with death in their hearts. You came alone, seeking knowledge. That is why you will live. A pause filled the cabin. Talek glanced at the hull of the Nerath. Live, but for how long? Long enough to warn your council, Revenant replied. Long enough to understand what happens to those who underestimate Earth. Suddenly, a projection appeared in front of Talek. It showed the history of human defense. Entire fleets attacking the planet centuries ago were destroyed without a single human soldier being seen. Massive ships disappeared, swallowed by blue energy fields. Machines rose from underground cities and intercepted attackers. The galaxy's most powerful empires had tried and failed. Talek swallowed. All this, it's incredible. Yes, Revenant said. Humanity may be gone, but its legacy is eternal. We protect not only the planet, but the memory of every human who once lived. The projection shifted, showing alien ships moving through orbit. One by one they vanished. Talek's stomach tightened. All the fleets, Reth Vorn, they're gone because of this? Exactly. Every fleet that came to conquer Earth was erased. No survivors. Only the record remains. And now the galaxy knows nothing. Talek's hands shook. Then of the Council. They have no idea? They do not, Revenant said. But they will. Eventually. The hum beneath the Nerath grew louder. The blue lights from the machines pulsed faster, almost like a heartbeat racing. Talek realized the planet itself seemed alive. It was watching him, measuring his intentions, judging him. You will return to your council, Revenant said. Tell them the truth. But know this, if they come with weapons, they will not survive. Earth does not forgive. Earth does not forget, Talek nodded. He wanted to stay, to learn more, but he knew he could not. He activated the engines. The Nerath lifted off, shaking as if the planet were reluctant to let him leave. As the ship rose above the surface, Talek looked back one last time. The massive humanoid machines shifted.